Barbados, get up.
Good morning Barbados, good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning Barbados, good morning.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Morning to you.
Indeed, good morning to you everyone, everywhere. Welcome to Monday the 19th of May, 2025. I am Pearson Bowen. It is so wonderful having you company. You don't have any idea how happy I am to see you and to know that you're there with me as well. Hoping you have a marvelous today and most of all, a most successful week as well. If you're there too on our streams on Facebook, YouTube and our website cbc.bb, good morning. Good morning. Hope you had a lovely weekend, by the way. I surely did. Remember, share the show, share the love, tell others about us, bring them along, let them engage with us and with all of us. Really and truly, every single Monday to Friday morning from 6 in the morning right through. And if you have something or someone you need for us to talk about, send it by email. The email address is morninbarbados@cbc.bb. morninbarbados@cbc.bb. So, good morning. How you doing? Hope you had a lovely weekend. I sure did. By the way, today is Monday. Today is also the birthday of Sandra Stewart. Now, Sandra Stewart loves Morning Barbados, and Morning Barbados loves you back, Sandra. Thank you very, very much. So today is your very special day. We acknowledge you, we recognize you, and we hope you have a lovely today as you celebrate your birthday indeed. Now, Sandra, the mission is simple. Tell someone else about us. Simple, so you know. And don't just tell them, bring them along. Insist that they come watch it every morning indeed, and they'll be hooked, like all of you indeed. So thank you, Sandra. Have a lovely, lovely today. What did you do this weekend? It continues to be rainy outside, and I'm sure that you had some time to enjoy the rain. I sure did. I surely did. Rhonda Hines-Graham, I know you did too as well. She's wishing all of us a magnificent rainy Monday morning. Monday morning and rain, sweet. Be safe, she says, going out and coming in. Patricia Ben is overseas in the United States. She wishes all of us a good morning. We do too to you as well. Patricia Ben, thank you very, very much indeed. Hello to you, Vereen Walker. How are you doing as well? She sends one love to everyone, everywhere. We send it right back at you, Vereen. Marcia Rock, good morning to you as well. She's saying good morning to all of the beautiful people of Barbados. She's wishing each of us a magnificent Monday. Back at you. Bako is in Flatbush, Brooklyn. Bako, good morning. How are you doing? Bako is from St. Lucie, if you so please. And so to Roosevelt Bako Corbin, we wish you and your friends a very lovely day today indeed, and the family as well. So what did you do for real yesterday at St. Mark's Anglican Church? Their brand new Allen organ was installed. It was blessed. It was commissioned. We played it. Oh, was it a glorious sound indeed. So if you haven't been to St. Mark's Anglican Church in a while, you need to go now. They have a brand new Allen organ. It does so much. It gives you that pipe sound effect, and the speakers are awesome. I mean, you feel the music, you feel the ministry indeed, and it can play steel pan. It can do so much, so you need to go there. And while there, as a member of the Barclays Singers, we had the St. Peter's Parish Church Choir, the church choir. We had organists who are of great note who were there. The Lord Bishop was there. Sonia Brown, the Member of Parliament for the area, was also there. It was brilliant. And so to the organizers, Emerson Aline and his team from the St. Mark's Anglican, of course, the Reverend Rosalind Harper Johnson, we wish all of you well. We thank you for the invitation. I commend it to you folks. You gotta go. You gotta go. You will love it. The music ministry there at St. Mark's in St. John. So, I shan't forget the riddle. You have to call me. You have to call me right now, and then I'll give you the riddle. Because when I give you the riddle, you do the other thing that I've always asked you not to do. So call me right now, 228-5562 or 228-5563. Say, Pearson, can I get a riddle? I'll say, sure, and then I'll give it to you. So 228-5562 or 228-5563. Call me right now, and I shall give you a riddle. I hope I stump you, and I hope I stump you beyond belief. And you know, I'll be a happy, Happy fella. When I do that indeed. So call me right now and let me know. Coming up today, almost 6 months in, we want to take a look at Gatherin. How is it going as we are in the month of May in St. John, looking at community. We'll talk to Senator John King, who leads the Secretariat, about that. How is Gatherin doing? And since he's not back from Liberia, oh, does he have stories to tell? We cannot wait to hear, because we shall quiz him on that as well, because he was a part of the delegation accompanying our President Dame Sandra Mason to Liberia, and boy, can't wait to hear of his visit to the mother country. Now, have you heard of Posh Woman Education Innovation Award? If you haven't heard about it yet, you will hear about it today. We'll meet a Barbadian woman who is one of the nominees, and so it's up to all of us to vote to help her win that particular award. So we'll introduce you to her and the great work that she's doing in education as well, innovating approaches in education. We got a call. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Hi, how do you do?
I'm good, thanks, and you?
Oh, you're welcome. I'm well. Thank you very much for asking. So what did you do this weekend? Last weekend?
I went to church yesterday.
Good. That's all you did on the weekend? You only had one day on the weekend, Sunday?
No.
So what did you do? What else did you do?
Saturday, I just relaxed on Saturday.
Is that your typical mood on a Saturday, just to relax?
Yeah, sometimes I do some exercises.
Stretch your legs. Listen.
Hands and everything.
Seniors games coming up, starting launching next week here. This coming weekend.
No, it will have to be people in wheelchairs.
You can do this too. You can do this. It's for everyone.
Okay.
It's for everyone. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Don't just be a spectator. You can come and engage. Now, where are you watching us from?
St. Michael.
St. Michael. All right, darling. You ready for your question?
Yes, please.
I hope so. Listen to this. First, I am dried. Then I am wet. The longer I swim, the more taste you get. What am I? First, I am dried. Then I am wet. The longer I swim, the more taste you get. What are you laughing at? What are you laughing at? What am I?
Because I really don't know what am I.
You don't know? But you haven't even tried.
I am dry.
You haven't tried. Come, tell me.
I'm dry. Then I'm wet.
Yes.
The longer
I swim, the more taste you get. So, what am I?
I don't know.
You don't know? You surrender.
I surrender.
Surrender all to Jesus, girl.
I called 3 times on Friday and it would not connect.
Oh dear, oh dear. Well, try again. But I thank you so much for trying, okay?
Yes, please.
Don't forget, tell someone else about us. Bring them along, okay?
Okay.
Have a good morning now.
You
Bye-bye.
too.
Still call me, interrupt me anytime. Now, coming up this Wednesday, the Methodist Church invites you to the 17th annual Sarah Anne Gill Memorial Lecture. What will that lecture be about? Where will it be? All the details we'll give to you. It's part of the Methodist Church ongoing ministry in education and so much more. Just bringing people back to the center. Also this morning we have a treat for you. Yes, indeed. We will be taking you through the brand new cookbook produced by Roberts Manufacturing. They're celebrating 80 years. It's called Cooking with a Not So Secret Cooking Ingredient. And so we want to know, what is that not so secret ingredient? Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm blessed, and you?
Oh, I'm blessed as well. Who's calling?
Sandra.
Sandra. And Sandra, you're watching from?
Church.
Yeah, I got it right. So Sandra, would you like a riddle?
I was going to answer the one just now.
I still have another one for you though. Anyway, what's your answer?
Is it sea urchin?
Is it what? Sea urchin?
Yes.
All right, let's do this together. First, I am dried, and you're thinking sea urchin, and then I'm wet.
Mm-hmm.
The longer I swim, the more taste you get. Still sea urchin? Answer me.
It's in the water all the time. When you take it out, it's going to get dry. You break it out, and you have the succulent on the inside.
Okay, that's the wet part.
Mm-hmm.
The longer I swim...
And it's more taste to it.
I'm not sure. The longer I swim, what are you saying?
The more time the sea has, it develops.
You're talking...
This is
You're talking sea eggs?
Yes.
Not me. so stop, Sandra. I am not talking sea eggs. But thank you for calling, all right?
Okay.
Have a lovely day, Sandra. All right, good. So, let's get going at 12 minutes now after 6 o'clock. Senator John King has been patiently waiting, and he's here. Senator King, good morning to you.
Good
man.
morning to you, and good morning to Barbados. It's good to be back on terra firma.
I was just going to say that to you. I was actually going to say welcome home, but I'm not so
Yeah.
sure if this is like second home, really.
But trust me, you know, home is home.
Yeah, it's where the heart is.
Yeah, no matter where you roam.
That sounds very familiar.
But yeah, you said you wanted to talk a little bit about Liberia. So that was an awesome experience. You know, we've been, since 2018, we've been on this mission to reconnect with the continent itself. And this is all part and parcel of what we're trying to do, bring our peoples closer together. But it's special for Barbados and Liberia. 1865, we had 346 people leave this island on a call. Basically, I guess the conditions in Barbados at that time would have been, for people of color, unbearable in some instances. And so they answered the call and they went to Liberia and founded a little village called Crozierville. They celebrated the 160th anniversary of that landing. And so the president, along with myself, members from the Foreign Affairs, which would have been Ambassador Sutherland, Risa Lane, who was chief of protocols, the president in her aide-de-camp, from the Division of Culture, myself, and Juliet Clark, who was our acting PS, deputy PS. And so it was packed. Imagine this was really a celebration of the descendants of those first persons who traveled there, recognizing that Liberia would have had a number of issues. In the 80s, they were riddled with war, civil war, and a lot of the persons who actually lived in Crozierville at that point in time had to flee the country. So a lot of them moved to the United States of America and other parts of Africa. So it was interesting coming back into Crozierville, where you could have seen homes that they would have built. It was nice to see, as part of the celebration, they actually planted breadfruit trees.
Nice.
So just imagine that these folks, skilled artisans and whatever, teachers and stuff, would have left with certain things that they used here in Barbados. So the breadfruit was definitely one. Lemongrass, the street called Lemongrass Street.
Wow.
And so what they did is that they honored them by renaming a part of it. It's now called the Barbados Circle.
Nice.
Yeah. They put down 3 plaques for 3 persons who came out of those early settlers, became presidents of Liberia.
That's right, the Barclay boys.
The 2 Barclay boys and another person who was also the interim transition president. In some cases, people would say, well, he wasn't really the president, but he actually was the person put in place for the transition.
Right.
So they celebrated him also, and that was awesome. But what was really, really nice to see and to hear, because oftentimes we talk about the things we see, but not necessarily things we hear. And for me, it was fascinating to hear that Barbadian accent
coming out of the mouth of Africans.
of persons, you know, in Crozierville.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It was fascinating. And to see the entrepreneurship also, because you have persons who are manufacturing rum, growing sugar cane. I mean, it was just mind-blowing, you know, and all in all, I think what is left for us to do now is to be able to capitalize on that. One of the interesting things was when the president of Liberia spoke, he said he went to school with many of them, and he always found them to be rather super intelligent.
Yes.
He found them to be go-getters and things like that. But one of the interesting things he said, I had all of us like let me use Bajan parlance, just cracking up, right? Was he asked, you know, where was the rum? So it just shows you that our signature, the things that we've created, like rum production and these things, resonate not only in places that we traditionally know, but far and wide. And that gives you a certain sense of pride when you travel, to see how people, you know, they feel strongly about this 166 square miles, what we've been able to accomplish against all the odds, and the indelible mark that we've left wherever we've traveled. You know, and those are the things that keep us, or at least I would hope that our viewers this morning, these are these kind of stories that would give them that impetus and give them that, not just national pride, but self-pride to know that we, wherever we go, we make this kind of a contribution and are well known for doing such.
You know, there's one thing reading about or hearing about, but then to have to experience it oneself.
Yeah.
But I asked you, so John, how was it? You were like, wow.
Yeah, I could say it again. It was like, wow.
Because?
Because I just think about this, right? So we go to a dinner at, you know, local home. So it's a home cooked meal and everything. So you have both presidents there, myself, people from different delegations, the Barbadian diaspora and stuff like that. And, you know, what do they do to kind of like make you feel at home? They serve breadfruit.
Oh boy.
You know, I is a breadfruit merchant. I put my hands out early. I would eat breadfruit every possible day if I could, right? But just for me, it was interesting. You know, that people would go the extra length, you know, to make you feel at home. They were very, very friendly, very accommodating, and everyone, I mean, barring no one, from our security detail to persons who were in the hotels that we had to deal with, everyone was asking, like, is there a flight to Barbados as yet? Because we've been following what's been happening in Barbados. We followed the pilgrimage last year, and we're just so excited. We want to come. We want to see what Barbados is all about. And then for me, the last thing was, even after I got onto the plane to come home, as soon as I got home, I looked into my inbox, my emails, and there's a whole group of entrepreneurs asking about the possibilities of having their products in Barbados and what is the process that we have to go through. So that's something that, now that I'm back home, I have to deal with the relevant authorities to make that happen. And it just shows you, again, how we are viewed. I mean, one of the things that kept coming up all the time is people are asking, you know, like, after, well, you know, to start off with Senator John, but by the time we get down to the last few days, it's more John. You know, it's like, how do we get assistance with our tourism business? You know, like, what are your suggestions? Who do you think we should speak to? These are the things that we would like to learn, because we know that you guys have experience in this for many, many years, and we know you're one of the best. And you know, when you hear those things, even though sometimes at home we ourselves would, I don't want to use the word doubt ourselves, but I guess that's the best word I could use, doubt ourselves sometimes, and be very critical of our own achievements in a sense. It's good to know that others are looking on and are seeing us as being leaders in different areas. So it's a good thing.
Having experienced what you've experienced, sustainability, I'm looking at that from that perspective. And I keep thinking children and the opportunity for children to interact with other children.
Awesome.
So that there is a greater groundswell of those who would want to travel from one to the other. How possible do you think that is?
Well, it's very possible. You know, I'm glad that you asked that question, because a lot of things go unheralded in Barbados. And for instance, this gives us the opportunity to talk about the National Library Service. There have been, every possible year for the last probably 5 or 6 years, been engaging with different schools from different parts of the African continent and also in the Caribbean, and giving our students the opportunity to converse with and to learn more about persons in the African continent. And so those types of engagements are important, and I'd like to take the opportunity to give all thanks to the National Library Service for that initiative. But also, I know that in the missions themselves, like let's say in Ghana, for instance, they're always putting out information in Ghana about Barbados. What are the things, if it's about education, they're talking about University of West Indies, or if it's just about job opportunities, what are the kind of skills that people are looking for, and that sort of stuff. So these discussions are constantly going on. And I think, as you asked the question about children, I think we need in our educational system to now ramp up how we portray the continent itself. Because we've been told, or it's been painted in a particular way for us for many, many years, which we now know is not necessarily what it is. It has evolved over many, many years. And I think there are lots of opportunities for especially young people who are thinking about in whatever sphere that they find themselves as jobs or whatever. I think sometimes they could think, all right, instead of going to Europe or going to Asia and other places, look to see what the opportunities are on the actual continent for you, because I can tell you that there are a lot of young people, and in the engagement that the president had with young people there, we was talking about sustainability and climate change and other things like that. But after it was finished, a number of them were asking, you know, like, what are the kind of jobs that are available in Barbados, the kind of skills that they have, and they would love to come and live here and work. And to be quite honest with you, Pearson, the one thing that I find very interesting is that our Prime Minister has become pretty much like a rock star for a number of these young people, especially when you talk about climate change and sustainability and things like that. So there's a lot that we have to unpack, but I think that education has to go two ways, where we dispel a lot of the things that were taught before about the continent.
I want you to put on your entertainer's hat for just a moment, because one of the other ways we connect, I find, as a people is through entertainment. What do you see to be the scope for Barbadian artists to be able to penetrate?
There's a lot of scope. There's a lot of scope for them. I think the music genres are really, really similar. So, for instance, one of the events that we were there, one of the cultural groups, and this was, I'm glad you asked that, because this is one of the things that I noticed, and the same thing is happening in Barbados. The cultural group that performed at a number of the events that we went to, not one of those persons was under 40. It was interesting for me to see that, because it tells me that the actual heritage as we know it is not attracting younger people to keep it going, or to even help in its to evolve, right? And this is something that we have to be concerned about, because a lot of these things can be lost over time. But entertainment, I always look at it as cultural diplomacy. For me, is one of the easiest ways to break down barriers and to begin the process of people beginning to feel a little closer, at least to the things that connect them. And I think when you listen to a lot of the music that is coming out of the continent right now, yes, they have millions and millions of people. Liberia is 5.5 million, I believe. You know what I mean? Begin to imagine. 5.5 million. Yes. But the musics are very similar. So yes. I heard them playing a song, and I said to the DPS at the time, I said, do you know that song? She said, no. I said, well, my ears, as a person involved from it, this is Sly Mongoose. Whoa. You know, I could sing it verbatim to that music, but it was a completely different thing that they were saying. So that itself struck me as, okay, where do these sounds come from, and these melodies and different things? And it took me back to, you know, maybe that transformation of that would have come during the slave trade, during that period and stuff, but it's still with us, because they're singing the same melody lines, in a different language, but we've got Sly Mongoose. So that was one of the things that I saw important.
You just hit also they really wanted to get into it. When you were into the Bajan homes in Crozierville, what music were they playing? Were they playing Barbadian music, or music familiar to us, or were they playing music?
To be quite honest, when we went into the homes, it wasn't like a lot of music, so to speak, because a lot of it was meet and greets. Right. So it was more conversational things that we were having. But the interesting thing is, all of the homes that we went into, we could see pictures of the folks who went before. Yes. Who on the walls. You know, so that's my grandmother, that's my great grandmother. That's you know, and it was really good, because then you being in the space felt that, you know, that
spirit
presence
of all that.
exactly
Yes, yes,
of all
I
of
get
that.
you.
Exactly.
Senator John King, listen, we're going to take a break. We have more to talk about, not necessarily about this alone, but some other matters as well.
Awesome.
Good man. What a story. What a moment. What an experience. We're taking a break. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
The Ministry of Youth Sport.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
28 and a half minutes now after 6 o'clock as we turn our attention, still with Senator John King, to Gatherin. Gatherin 2025 has started and it is continuing. We are in May and we are in St. John, looking at the whole concept of community. But when we started in January, we had some milestones that we wanted to be. We just wanted to check in and see how we're doing. Senator King, what do you say? How are we doing? When you set yourself certain targets, how are we doing?
We're doing really, really well. I think oftentimes when we talk about regathering, what people speak about most of the time are the events, not necessarily what the events create. And I like to talk more so about what the events create. So for instance, all of the parishes that we've finished so far would have been left with skill sets of being able to plan their own events. You know what I mean? Being able to execute their own events, being able to engage with their communities in a complete different way, and to pass on those skills to the next generation of persons. Those are the things that you really want to see happen. You had those, out of those events, young entrepreneurs, old entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs across the board, prospective ones. If people can see that, you know what, this person from down the road was able to use their art or to use their skills, culinary skills, or whatever it is, to make a living for themselves. It plants the seeds in persons' minds that maybe this is what I can do. And in a time where we're constantly grappling with a lot of negativity that is happening, I think we need sometimes to pause and to look at what are the positive things that are happening, because one doesn't go without the other.
Yes.
You know, and I think the very positive things are the transfer of knowledge, the opportunities for persons to grow as entrepreneurs and otherwise, and also what I'm hoping, they're what we call the legacy things. So for instance, when I talk about legacy things, let's look at St. Lucie, for instance, Archer's Bay, which would have been out of commission for many, 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 many years. Having had that restored now, that becomes now another place where promoters, just people who want to go picnic, who want, again, another space where you can relax and enjoy the best of Barbados. That's part of it. And when we talk about the best of Barbados, I always like to use this little term. Regathering gives us the opportunity to rediscover Barbados.
Yes.
And you can't beat that.
Yes.
Because one of the things that I'm always a little concerned about is when people come from far and wide across the globe and say to you, did you ever go to this place? And you ask yourself, no.
What part that is?
Exactly. And we should be our first tourists,
Yes.
so to speak. Understanding where the little nooks and crannies, where the nice little shops where you could go and get a good meal and relax and enjoy yourself and play dominoes with people you never met before,
Yes.
make new friends. That is what Barbados is all about. And so Gatherin gives us the opportunity to do that. From a historical standpoint, you have the standpoint stories coming
yes.
out of the UWI. That gives you the opportunity, again, because history is important. I think we don't place enough emphasis on historical knowledge, but historical knowledge gives you an understanding from whence you are coming, the mistakes that would have been made in the past, and how it gives you a blueprint as to how not to repeat the same mistakes, but to look to see, are these the signs of XYZ happening again? Was the actions that we take so that we don't repeat those things. And it also gives persons a better understanding of who are some of the families and the players who have helped develop it that go unheralded. Oftentimes, and I'm going to be very, 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 very blunt about this, oftentimes when we talk about people who have contributed to Barbados, I would dare say 90% of it, we talk about those from a political class. But there are persons who have nothing to do with politics in that sense, but who from the goodness of themselves and that strong Barbadian love for country and for neighbors and whatever would have done things. And hence you have the Pride of Barbados Awards, which gives us the opportunity then to recognize those persons and they're being recognized by their communities themselves. So no one can say, oh, this person is blah, blah, blah. They're recognized by the people in their parishes for the work that they have done. And 99.9% of the times, why these people are celebrated this way is because they've made an indelible mark on the lives of the persons who will go online and make the stories known to us. So we're getting to learn more about ourselves. Who are these players? What motivated them? Again, these become part and parcels of the things that should drive us to also play our part. And so I'm very happy as to where those things are concerned, as what we're being, what we're doing with Gatherin. I'm seeing the results of it as we go through month after month after month. What I'm still a little bit concerned of is when we find it difficult to separate politics from some of the things which are really about us as a people. Because at the end of the day, every single human being has the right to follow what political party they want to. They have the right to follow what religion they want to, or if they don't want any religion at all, they have a right to do that. But I don't think that we should be finding ourselves in a position where we politicize everything and forget first and foremost who we are as a people. We can agree to disagree. We don't have to be disagreeable. We can see things in different lights, because at the end of the day, what do we all want? We want the best for our country and for ourselves, So I listen to a lot of the criticisms, and I don't get too involved in the conversations, but I always try to bring people back to that grounding thing. Yeah. What is it that grounds us first? Because there's no one who can do everything perfectly. If we did everything perfectly, life would be, what's the word I'm looking for? It wouldn't be as interesting as it is, because without problems, man has nothing to do. Yeah. And if he does nothing, then he's nothing.
Yeah, I get you.
So it's important that we, again, I want to encourage people to get involved. And criticism is good. You might see something and you can say, John, I didn't really like how you do this here. You could tweak it, you could do it. I'm always open to listening. But the major thing is for us as a people. Like I said earlier, when I went to Liberia, when I thought about how people see us, I think we must begin now to put on those same eyes for ourselves and move forward.
Brilliant. And so it continues. We're in St. John this month of May, and we're almost at the end of the month. And there's some wonderful things happening, because in St. John yesterday, you're talking at St. Mark's.
Right.
I discovered that in St. Joseph, there's Mary who does some fantastic fried pork chops on a Friday night.
Listen, like you said, these are the things that come out whilst we're going through the gathering. Find all of these nice little spots where things are happening. People have their different specialties and whatever. So in St. John, you've got a number of, this is the shop lines time.
Yes.
So there are a number of bars where you're going to be inviting people to. And for those of you who used to go down to Martin's Bay on a regular for Thursdays.
On the 22nd, that's where we're going there now.
That's where you're going. I encourage people to get out and go and experience all that Barbados has to offer. Again, all that St. John has to offer.
Yes.
And maybe, just maybe, when you go once, it will encourage you to go twice.
That's right. Or even more.
Or even more.
On the 24th, they're having something which I think is really, really cool. Is you think you know St. John?
Oh, yeah.
John, you think you know St. John?
I don't fool myself into, because for sure, even before I left, I had the opportunity to, walk through some places, and I was like, okay. I really never went through here before in my life. And that in itself is interesting with the hikes and the different things that are happening. So again, encouraging people to get involved and learn.
Well, that one is a treasure hunt.
Yes.
It's a scavenger hunt. So you need to register, folks. You need to register right now and get involved in that one. It is We Gather in St. John. You can go to their socials and see how you can register. It starts at 10 in the morning and it pushes off really from St. John Parish Church, but it's going to be really good. They are also offering a digital booklet that can help guide you with some information you might want to follow as you search for your clues as well as it goes. Then on the 25th, they're acknowledging the pillars of St. John.
That's right.
That too, I think, is going to be fantastic. That's what we were just talking about.
That's what we were talking about earlier.
And then it ends with their marquee event on the 31st. This marquee event, though, happens at Codrington Estates.
Well, I think we're in a little bit of a change where that is concerned. More than likely, we'll be going to the pool woods.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
So when we talked about earlier, those legacy things.
Mahogany woods.
Exactly. Exactly. So I believe they'll be going back there.
Okay.
That is still in discussion right now. So the public will know in a few days' time. But again, when you think about you would drive past there, up and down, and not see it as anything really, just a bundle of mahogany trees, so to speak. But they have taken it and turned it into something fantastic for everyone. And if I can, Pearson, I would really like to give kudos to a number of persons. One, really and truly the NCF. All of the marquee events that people have been raving about, they've all been developed by the NCF. And this is when we talk about the transfer of knowledge and things like that. So the parish organizing committees will come to the NCF and say, this is what I want to do. It goes to the NCF, and the NCF then packages it and puts it in a format that everyone can enjoy. Now, people have been raving about every single one of them that we've had so far. And so kudos to the team there at the NCF. Then you have the project implementing unit, which I happen to chair. We call it the secretariat. I have a number of persons within that unit who have been going into the communities, talking to people, putting up all that recordings and stuff on social media, helping them in the background to ensure that whatever events that they put on, there's security, there's lighting where needed, there's training that is going on for vendors, food handling. All of these things are happening in the background. So I also want to thank all of them for being involved. And then you have Mr. and Miss Barbados. Those persons, there were three persons in all though, who come to every single event. And they're dressed in their regalia, showing off the colors. That is the kind of spirit that we want in this country, not only at the events, but on a daily basis. So I want to thank all of the persons in Barbados who've been going out to all of the events, and I want to encourage you to keep going, because when you get into St. John and you understand the different nuances
Yes,
of,
yes.
and this is one of the things that I'm having a ball with, the different nuances in terms of language. You know, you go into some of the parishes and you hear, like, for instance, when we were in St. Thomas, they had this thing called moonlight upon stick.
Yes, yes.
I was like, I've never heard this term before in my life. Now I know what it is.
Yes.
And so for St. John, I'm sure there will be other things that we'll learn as we did in all of the parishes that have gone so far.
Oh boy, there's so much happening indeed. I know one of the things we shared with you folks at home earlier was that now open every day is the Heritage Centre at St. John Parish Church, and that in the hall itself and opens every day right through to the 31st from 9 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. And they're also having an upcoming karaoke activity. Do you know about that? Look at your screen. Look at your screen very, very quick. Karaoke in the Bay at Martin's Bay in St. John. The Bay Tavern, as a matter of fact. It's on Thursday next. Is this Thursday?
Yes,
yeah, this Thursday from 6 in the evening until midnight. Karaoke, giveaways, music by DJ Thriller, and of course, all of this is absolutely free. It's all part of the Regathering in St. John community, and it's building community. And I like the themes, because the themes really help us to focus in on who we are and what we're about.
Correct.
As well.
And if people would focus, like you said, on the themes, then they will understand why the programs that have been put forward are the way they are. Yeah.
Quite right. Senator John King.
Thank you, sir.
Boy, we had a while.
Oh, yes,
but
we
I enjoyed
did.
it.
I thank you so much for allowing me to be here with you and the wonderful people of Barbados this morning. And I just want to wish everyone all the best for the rest of the week.
Thank you, sir. All the best to you as well. So first I'm dried, then I'm wet. The longer I swim, the more taste you get. What am I?
Sorrel.
Yo, wait a minute.
Sorrel.
First I'm dried. Sorrel, yeah, you put it out to dry. Then I'm wet. You soak it and sauce it. The longer I swim, the more not bad.
No,
not right.
I thought it could be sorrel.
It could be sorrel. But that's not the answer I'm looking for. Well done. We're coming back after this, folks.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
The Ministry of Youth Sports and Community Empowerment's Bridges television series is back. Join us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. on CBC TV 8. Don't you miss it.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, he'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV 8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today...
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So we have 15 minutes now to go to 7 o'clock, as I just want to interrupt to just let you know, because we've just got word from the Barbados Met Services that the island is under a flood watch. The island of Barbados is under a flood watch until 12 noon. That notice might be extended if it is warranted, or it could be discontinued at 12 noon. So at the moment, Barbados is under a flood watch until 12 noon. It's just a watch. It could be upgraded to a warning should systems prevail and get worse. But for the moment, we just want you to be watching for water levels where you are. Soggy conditions prevail, and so we want you to be absolutely careful. Life and limb far more important than anything else. So Barbados at the moment from the Met Services is under a flood watch until 12 noon. We're watching this woman too. She is a nominee for the Education Innovator Award, all part of the Posh Woman Education Campaign. And she's joining me now. Her name is Chanel Williams. Good morning to Chanel.
Good morning, Pearson. Good morning, Barbados.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Pearson. What about you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. First of all, to be a nominee, what did you have to do, or who nominated you?
Well, I am still not sure who did it actually. I am still not sure who actually did it, but the award really is for persons who have been doing work in education and who are trying to make a mark in the field. So just to go through some of the things that I've been doing. So I migrated to the US just before the pandemic. And in order to become a teacher, I entered a teacher certification program. And because I had had about a decade in teaching, I started to do free workshops and mentoring with teachers, which folded into me actually tutoring them to do their teacher certification test. Because in order to be a teacher, you have to not only do a master's degree, but you also have to do certification exams. So then that folded into me doing that. And then when I started to teach again, because the principal at that time had valued my experience, I ended up having to train and mentor first time teachers, special education teachers. So what that looked like was training them and showing them how to write effective and equitable IEPs. And so also not only for themselves, but for me. So as a special education teacher, I'm responsible for not only evaluating children in some aspects, but also writing those IEPs, which will inform the services that they get within this school, which is provided by the government. So that is school. Then I have a stance on opportunities to start writing books. So if you remember,
yes,
right. So now I have 2 books, Beyond the Classroom, and also one called Educator Rise, which talks about diversity, equity, and inclusion in the classroom. And so I've started to branch out now to not only do speaking engagements, but also propose to work with schools to not only assist them in building out their special education programs, but also looking at the importance of embedding certain programs within the school.
Right.
And finally, when I became a teacher, like the second year, I actually was sent to be trained to be a work-based learning coordinator. And so what that looks like is that I had to oversee the work-based program in my school. And so a number of students were selected to do a career development course, and then they would have to do job attachments and tours and so on. And I was the person trained and responsible for overseeing that program. So
that's a lot. That's a long list. No doubt you're nominated for this innovation award, but you're also nominated against 8 other women from the region. Have you done your own little research into their contributions to education?
Yes, I have, and I must say that they are doing a fantastic job. And I would say that I think that I am up against the best in the region. And actually, one of the individuals who is nominated, Heather Robinson, she's actually one of the co-authors of my last book as well. So I think it's good that there are awards like this that are now starting to see the worth and the value of teachers, not only on a country or national level, but international level as well.
So what do we need to do to help you win? Is there anything we can do?
So I would have provided the link, and you just go to the website, you look for my picture.
Right.
Look for my picture, you click my picture. If you see a blue tick, you have voted for me, and you can vote as many times as you want to vote.
Look at your screen, folks. Look at your screen. That's exactly what you'll see once you enter. And we're looking for Chanel. We're looking for Chanel. We're looking for Chanel. We're looking for Chanel, and there she is. Chanel Chantel Williams, a special needs teacher. That's the one you want to click on to vote for her, so that we have a Barbadian winning this innovation award. We can do this, everybody. So just look, see, www.caribbeanposh.com. That's where you go and you can vote for Chanel Williams of Barbados, a nominee. The awards are going to be held in St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands at the end of June. And so hopefully by that time we will be able to celebrate with you your receipt of the Innovation Award.
So. I hope so.
All right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Chanel, I want to talk more to you about your work in special needs education and a whole lot more. All right? As the old people say, stick a pin in it. We're coming right back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
A, B, C, D, E.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about solar ray, microbiome, probiotics, and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 6 minutes now to go to 7 o'clock. We're joined by Chanel Williams, who is a special needs educator. She is an education innovator. She's also a nominee for the category of Education Innovator Award. And so we want you to support her on that journey towards winning that award at the end of June. But I want to turn our attention now, Chanel, to your work in special needs. And I know the last time we spoke, you had some strong views on still what needs to be done in the classroom, so that we are creating a space, and a space of inclusivity, because we're not all equitable, but to be able to accommodate children of special needs who also want to learn and to achieve. Let's talk a little bit about that. And has it been challenging for you getting that message across?
I think, having worked in two systems, each of the systems have their shortfalls. And so it is very challenging, and sometimes education is politicized, and I find that they lose sight of really what they're supposed to be providing, which is a safe, equitable, and inclusive space for children. Booker and Jay, politician, recently said it, and he said that children are the greatest resource of a country, and the only way to harness that resource, in my opinion, is through teachers. Teachers are the backbone of that system. So if you are going to talk about education reform, you have to talk to the teachers. And a lot of times what happens is that there is a top-down approach instead of a bottom-up approach. So you're in the classroom, you know what is happening, you know that smaller classrooms work, but still you hear talk of amalgamating school, bringing bigger numbers, not having services, not providing training, not providing resources. And you wonder if these politicians or the governments or the ministries are listening to what you are saying. Also, if you look at what is going on, not only in the US, but if you look at what is going on in places like China and Norway, those systems are, number one, are at the top of education, and therefore there must be a reason why. So any system that is going to be serious about education reform needs to look at the systems that are winning, needs to look at what these systems are doing, and they also need to look at the schools of education. So not only do children learn through teacher-led instruction, but they also learn through experience, and they also learn through curiosity. So it's about creating that space and that learning experience for the child, and creating those services that make the services
accessible.
Accessible, yes, that's the word, so that everybody, and when I say everybody, I mean everybody, that child that has behavioral issues, that child that might be blind, that child that might not be able to hear, that child that might have autism, might have a speech impairment, providing the space that these children are not pulled out of the classroom or put in spaces where they are not given the opportunity to grow, but create an inclusive program.
And you're quite right, because oftentimes when we hear the word special needs, we think that they need to be like eggs. You take out these little ones and you put them over here, because if you include them with the others, then we have a problem. And so you're saying to a lot of the education technocrats, really and truly, let's create spaces in our classrooms that are small enough to manage and to include all different levels of capacity, so that we all learn from each other.
Yeah, because I think, and I was listening to John King earlier when he said that if we didn't have problems, that we wouldn't be able to think or to be able to solve those problems. And if we treat the children like that special egg, not letting them experience anything or giving them opportunities to grow, then what do we expect? Yeah. You know, we have to provide, and an important piece of this is listening to the teachers, because a lot of times they talk about when we do get the training, it is about what we can do more. It is not about lessening our load or providing resources for us to make the job easier. Right. And there's also the whole aspect of pointing the fingers. So the children are failing, it must be the teachers. It's not the fact that we are given a small amount of time, 30 children in a classroom. In Barbados, there's still one teacher in a classroom.
Yes.
If you need services for a child and you don't have the money, you have to beg, or your child just will not get the services.
I get you, Chanel. I get you. Trust me, I do. So you know what, Chanel, I have to thank you for keeping company and to really engaging with us. And I want to what we're going to do for you right now, Chanel, we'll show people how to get online and to vote. So here we are. We came to the landing page. We're going to, what's happening now? Show me where the mouse is. There it is. We click on Chanel's picture, Chanel Williams, and then we do what?
That's it.
Do you voted? We've already voted for you. Listen, you owe us here. So bring that award back to Barbados, Chanel.
I'll try.
Good girl. Thank you very much indeed. Chanel Williams, a special need educator, and the nominee. And so you can do as we just did. We went online. We voted for Chanel Williams. You can too. Barbadian is going to win this. www.caribbeanposh.com. Look for Chanel Williams. Click on it, and there you go. We're good to go. We're taking a break right here. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons...
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
2.5 minutes past the hour now. Look at news. Prime Minister Miamar Motley says more than $39 million of the one-time solidarity allowance has been dispersed to Barbadians since the distribution process started on the 14th. Ms. Motley gave an update while suggesting that opposition leader Ralph Thorne, who has publicly condemned the allowance, should return his piece of the pie to be given to the disabled community. Addressing last night's Barbados Labour Party meeting at Weston St. James for Chad Blackman, the Prime Minister said the distribution of the allowance is her government's keeping its promise to share the bounty.
After breast 132,372 Bajans in the last week got $300 in their bank accounts or credit union accounts across this country. And that added up so far to $39,711,600 being distributed to Bajans across this country. And I go further. The people who are now to register between now and June 30th, you have the NIS headquarters you can go to. You have the post office you can go to, the general post office every day. And you have a schedule of the district post offices that are being advertised so that you can go. Now, if we had never done it, you would hear at the next election, the government tell you share the burden and never gain a bounty.
Well, Barbados is in no man's land. The assessment has come from opposition leader Ralph Thorne during a speech at a gathering at Sion Hill, St. James last night in support of the party's candidate Felicia Dujon. He said after 4 years of Barbados becoming a republic, it was still without a constitution.
We have asked this government to bring a new Republican constitution 4 years later. And this is serious. This is a demonstration of what it means to have a constitution, an old Westminster constitution that is irrelevant, and to delay a Republican constitution that would control the powers of government, so that we are midway between Westminster and republicanism. We're constitutionally in no man's land. And while this government, while the people in this country remain constitutionally in no man's land, while we seem not to have our rights and fundamental freedoms.
Well, the Minister of Agriculture is describing a video in circulation as malicious and intended to mislead the public. That video shows a number of bales of sugar outside the Port Gael sugar factory. However, Minister Indar Ware says it is misrepresenting standard operating procedure. However, Minister Indar Ware says it is misrepresenting standard operational procedures at Port Vale and undermines the integrity of the production process. Minister Ware says the sugar shown in the video is awaiting remelting, a routine and controlled part of quality assurance. He also notes that all sugar designated for remelting is temporarily stored outside of the factory for same-day processing. One Calypso tent is calling for the Pick of the Crop competition to return to 2 songs per performer. The Koyman All-Stars tent launched its crop over campaign at Koyman Kendall Hill recently. where tent owner and manager Eleanor Rice stated that she believes the competition has produced quality songs when finalists had to produce 2 pieces. She would like to see the competition return to the format where there were semi-finals before the finals.
One of the things that I have always stressed on, I do not like one song competition. And I do not like that we don't have a semi-finals. But if that is what it is, then the Calypsonians have to work harder at getting into that final 18. But I prefer a vetting competition that takes away the ones that don't necessarily have to go to finals. But when you do 18, you got to get what you get. But I would prefer a semi-finals and let the people advance then to finals. Because you know for sure then that you're picking out the best out of those 18.
To sports now, Wanderers defeated UB Blackbirds by 2 runs in a close encounter at Darrells Road as the BCA T20 Cup went into Series 3. On a match reduced to 15 overs aside owing to rain, Wanderers got up to 95 for 9. And Mark Goodrich-Boyce reports on the Wanderers innings. We had expected to have his report. That's news until now. We'll have more news coming up at 12 noon. Morning Barbados comes right back after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end, and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come.
Approaching 10 minutes after 7 o'clock, the work of the Methodist Church in Barbados and the South Caribbean marches on. You better believe it. And so that's where we are right now. We're talking Methodism. We're talking about the great work of the Methodist Church as it continues its outreach. But part of that outreach is also education, because coming up this Wednesday is the 17th annual Sarah Anne Gill Memorial Lecture. Joining me now to talk about this and the ongoing work of the Methodist Church is the woman who chairs the mission, evangelism, and church growth of the Methodist Church in the South Caribbean, Dr. Natalie Phillips. Dr. Natalie, good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
Good to see you in the flesh. Indeed. I see you online, but good to see you in the flesh.
Good to be here.
And of course, our very good friend to Mornin Barbados, friend to Barbados in general, and a real Methodist man, Maurice Greenidge, who is the historical advisor to the Sarah Anne Gill Memorial Lecture Committee. And so, Maurice, good morning to you as well.
Good morning to you, my friend.
Good to have you indeed. Let's talk, Dr. Natalie, about the upcoming lecture. First of all, when is it?
The lecture will be held on this Wednesday, May 21st, at the Bethel Methodist Church at 7 p.m. The featured speaker is Dr. Karen Durant-McSweeney, and she is the interim dean and president of the United Theological College in Jamaica.
Where a lot of Methodist priests have been trained.
Definitely.
Yeah. Indeed. And so that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about someone who understands theology, someone who works in a space which also understand Methodism.
Yes.
And who is able then to be able to deliver this lecture. What's the theme of the lecture?
Right, so the theme of the lecture is a national social consciousness, the legacy of Sarah Anne Gill.
The national social consciousness of the legacy of Sarah Anne Gill. Coming to you now, Morris, because that's a lot of words, but it means a lot at the same time. And as an advisor to the committee, did you have a hand in this?
No. No, I haven't had a hand, but I do appreciate it because it's a necessary piece of information that will come out of that, all of that you just mentioned.
The national social
yes.
conscience.
That's right.
What do you see that national social consciousness to be, though?
Well, you have to look first at the woman, and you have to look at the time. Remember, she is in the time of the Bassa Revolution, and she is at the time of grave problems with black and white, slave and master. Abolition has taken place 10 years before. It did not reach Barbados. What they were thinking about, in fact, the slaves, when they found out that this thing had happened, that is when the problem started. So here you have a woman who, first of all, she's a woman. And in those days, women kept quiet.
Yes.
And they stayed in the house. They learned to cook and sew and watch for their men. And this is a woman who was out in the front, in the front lines, so to speak, saying, no, that is not right. I have to take a stand. And because she had some means, the social consciousness was there with her. She did not say, well, I am better off, so let them fight. She fought. She was up front. So that is the whole theme of her period of resistance.
But she was a Methodist. And when you look at the...
That's a bad word, by the way.
Really?
Yes. The word Methodist was coined because the Wesleys, John and Charles especially, when they were at university, they were very methodical about their prayers, their regimen of prayers, and when they would do their devotions. And so they were laughed at. Oh, don't mind them, they're Methodists. That's how the name came.
Okay.
So it didn't just, it wasn't a theological thing.
I got you.
It was.
But as a church at the time, against the other established churches, who themselves were very much involved in the slave trade, in slavery,
yes,
rose a woman in a different faith who said, I'm not like them. I want to make a change. I want my social conscience tells me we have to make a change in our society. Do you think that's significant as Methodists?
It is very significant, not only as Methodists, but it's very significant as humanity, because she took a stand, and I think because she took that stand, Barbados became a different place, completely different place, because 20 years later, you have the announcement of emancipation. I'm not saying that you had emancipation, you had the announcement that at least they were trying to make something, even if it was only on paper. But at least some strides were taken.
Listen, there's so much this lecture is going to deliver. I think it's going to unpack for a whole host of us indeed. It takes us back and brings us forward. And so the Reverend Dr. Karen Durant McSweeney is going to be delivering this lecture on a Methodist national social consciousness, the legacy of Sarah Anne Gill. What can you tell us about her, Dr. Karen Durant McSweeney?
Right, Dr. Karen Durant McSweeney, she is the interim president and dean, and she also teaches Old Testament, New Testament, and several other courses at the UTC. Yes.
So she comes with a lot of knowledge
and experience
of the Bible.
Yes.
Of the Bible. I'm sure she's going to link
a biblical scholar.
Yeah, I'm sure she's going to link that with the theme as well. And what was it that Sarah Anne Gill herself was studying from the Bible that spurred her to think in the way that she thought?
Yes.
Because there were many examples, Morris, that were dropped by God or Jesus later on in the New Testament and the other apostles and so the biblical characters that would have shaped Sarah Anne's view of life and herself.
You know, Sarah was a new convert. I'm not sure if to religion, but certainly to the Methodist communion. She joined the Methodist Church in 1819, and in 1820 she gave a donation towards the new building that had been built on Chapel Street. So I mean, this is in the middle of the fervent of the fervor. So she's new. So I guess that part of that novelty was her fervor. That is the word to use, and it spread. And the more the resistance came, especially from official circles, the governor himself couldn't give two hoots as to whether or not she survived. Because of that, her own physical character was that I have to fight this, and so she fought it. And in the end, well, we know the difference.
Yeah.
We know it was a very terrible period. You almost had assassinations, very close to that. Reverend Shrewsbury and his wife had to flee the country. All that was involved. So it's a very seminal moment for her to take the lead, because don't forget that during 3 years there was no Methodist minister in the island.
Yes.
Couldn't dare come.
Wow. A lot of history wrapped up in this. It's happening, this lecture, folks, is on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday night, 7 o'clock at Bethel Methodist Church. Bethel Methodist Church, a church in the corner. You know exactly where it is. That's where we're going to be on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday at 7 o'clock for a Methodist National Social Consciousness. The legacy of Sarah Anne Gill is the 70th annual Sarah Anne Gill Memorial Lecture. We'd like you to be there. It's absolutely free. The church doors are always open. Absolutely open. Free to come who will. And so we'll take a break. We'll come back and look more at the work of the Methodist Church in Barbados and the South Caribbean in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and...
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Just take note, this Wednesday at 7 o'clock, we're going to the little church of the Bay, Bethel Methodist Church, in the corner, right there. And that's where we shall all gather for the lecture, the 70th annual Sarah Anne Gill Memorial Lecture, as delivered by the Reverend Dr. Gatherin McSweeney on the life of Sarah Anne Gill. Look for me, Morris, on the screen here. Mo Spice is asking, is there a book about Sarah Anne Gill? And you say?
I am not too sure if there's a full book, but I know that Dr. Titus, Reverend Dr. Titus, has done some work on her. I know Woody Blackman might have something in his book. And my next book will have a little bit on her, not a huge lot because there's a lot of people to deal with. But there is more information now than there was before.
And because there's more information now than there was before, be there on Wednesday at 7 o'clock. You'll get more information than you've ever heard before.
That's right.
Indeed. And this is all at Bethel Methodist Church. And so, Dr. Natalie, there are people who are watching from overseas who want to consume this upcoming lecture, and they're wondering if it will be streamed.
Yes, the lecture is usually streamed via YouTube.
Yes, to you online viewer, it's going to be streamed on YouTube, and it's on what stream? The James Street Methodist Church?
James Street Methodist Church.
Media. Okay, fine. Just search for James Street Methodist Church on YouTube and you will see, and there the lecture will be on Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Turn my attention now to the wider outreach of the church in Barbados and the region. There are 20 congregations.
Yes.
Challenged by society as it is today to maintain numbers and relevance for a lot of people. How are you using your office to be able to bring a new message, a new light, a new fire into the Methodist Church?
Well, we operate within a wider district, South Caribbean district. So we operate at the district level, and in fact at the district level we coordinate various outreach programs. And so one of the programs that we coordinate at the district level, we have what is referred to as a proclamation conference. That's usually held annually. Unfortunately, for reasons beyond our control, it wasn't held this year. But that's open to the wider public, not only the congregations in the Methodist Church, but the wider public and the virtual space. And there are various topics. There are topics pertaining to if you're a church school teacher, if you're into mission and evangelism, if you're a steward, if you're a leader, for leaders in the church. We also host what is called a mental health coaching seminar, and that in fact will be held in June 20th and the 21st. Again, that will be held virtually. And those folks who are interested in mental health, we know that arising from COVID, there were several challenges with a number of people, and so we are inviting people to that as well. At the circuit level, within Barbados, as you said, there are 3 circuits. We have the Ebenezer Circuit, the Bethel Circuit, and the James Street Circuit. And each circuit is involved in various mission work. And we are involved in kitchen ministry. We have benevolent ministries. We have a mental health support group. We also have prayer groups. We have prayer chains. You know, because there are several needs in the community, and the whole aim and objective of the Mission Evangelism and Church Growth Committee is to be able to accommodate these various needs within the community. And of course, we also reach out to the younger people within the community and the elderly as well. So there are a plethora of outreach activities across the circuits.
A lot of times churches would say, my doors are open, come in. Up to you to come in if you want to come in. I'm not coming out. You can come and meet me where I am. Has the Methodist Church shifted its view in any way in terms of, again, coming back to the outreach and going to where people are?
Oh, definitely. So what we do is that every year we celebrate mission in July, right? July. And all of the circuits, we organize mission programs. And I can speak specifically for Bethel, especially. So what we do is that we organize a mission week of activities, and we go out and we, like a couple of weeks before, we go out into the neighboring communities and we give flyers and so on, and we invite folks to these activities. Then sometimes we actually have a mission program within the community, a mission service. Similarly, James Street and Ebenezer did do the same thing. So they would have mission services, and they will also have door-to-door evangelism as well. That is a way to meet the people where they're at and also invite them.
Staying relevant.
That's
because
right, very
for a lot
important.
of younger people, they tend to feel as though the church is beyond me, it's boring, it doesn't meet my need. That's what they will generally say. Well, what do you say?
The Methodist Church, within the last 5 to 10 years, we've been focusing specifically on the youth. So we've been organizing a lot of youth work activities at the district level and at the circuit level. And what we've been doing too is inviting speakers from across the diaspora to address the young people and their needs, because we recognize that the young people are grappling with a number of challenges. So what we've done is that we've organized various projects to be able to meet them at their need and to be able to solve some of these challenges that they're experiencing.
You know, Morris, the Methodist Church was born in song. We say that proudly, very, very proudly. Born in song. We love to sing music. And I'm coming to that because of music. Music either by the voice or the instrument.
Why would you come to me for that?
Because I know how you like music and you like doing things through music. Because I know that for a long time you've really been quite instrumental in finding other ways of engaging young people in ministry. What's your view of church in broad context today, and our acceptance of other means of expression by younger people?
It's changed for the better, thank God. 50 years ago, well, my grandmother said to me, if I hear you playing steel band with them well boys, you know what's going to happen if you bring one of them boat here. She meant the steel pan.
Yeah.
But we lived on the beach. That meant that my pan would have been in the sea and rusting. So I said, Grandma, when you die, I will play.
And you play. And you've created a whole orchestra. As a matter of fact, you've composed music for the pan.
Yeah.
And so the whole point is that the times change, and the times have also to change to meet those times.
And I also wanted to add to what Brother Morris said. Last year summer, the James Street Methodist Church, they held a music program for children within the Methodist Church and within the broader community. Right, so those children who have an interest in music, they invited them, and there were various sessions taught. and then we did it again in Easter. So again, that's one of the outreach programs, because you asked about the youth, and again, that's one of the programs that we've been trying to use.
The arts.
Yes,
yes. Marcy, you're going to say something.
About at least a dozen churches around Barbados now have steel orchestras.
Yes.
And I am happy to say that my group, the Whole Tongue Harmonites, well, it used to be my group. I am now ex-Primus.
Yes.
Quite a few of the original group have been involved in helping these new groups. I think the James Street group, David Headley, has been working with them. And David is a music teacher at Quarrigen Prairie. St. Leonard's, another Whole Tongue Harmonite, is there. And so it spreads, and the church has now begun to understand. But you know, we can't be too angry, because remember that when the organ was first introduced to church, there was a huge thing.
Of course.
Because that is the work of the devil.
Exactly. Yes.
It took 200 years.
Wow, to turn that around.
So we don't feel too badly about it.
Takes time. It takes time.
Yeah.
Education, Dr. Natalie, because Sarah Anne Gill believed in education, you know, and the posture of the church today in terms of teaching from the Bible about what it means to be a Christian, and then by extension a Methodist. Talk to me about the work of your organization, your role in this committee which you chair about education.
Yeah, so we hold education dearly, and that is why the Mission Evangelism and Church Growth Committee, our posture is to organize various seminars, and not only for leaders, but we also organize programs for children. And in fact, at the local level, we have what is referred to as a mentorship program. And we've partnered with a secondary school in Barbados where we invited sixth formers to tutor children who are at risk. Again, this was arising from COVID, because we recognized that the students within COVID, they were averse to online learning. And so we recognized that there were a number of at-risk students not performing well in academics. And so we invited a group of a cadre of sixth formers who were interested to teach these students. And again, it was a choice. So they either taught them virtually or in person. And so that's one of the educational programs that we have. And again, we have homework programs as well. So the Vauxhall Methodist Church, for example, they have a homework program every Saturday. We also have the Dalkeith Methodist Church. They have a reading program. And across the various churches within James Street and Ebenezer, again, education is at the forefront of that. And this year, we'll be focusing a lot more on mentorship, because especially mentorship of boys. And that's one of my soft spots.
Yes.
Mentorship for boys. And so that will be a major focus of the mission evangelism this year.
So there's a lot going on, folks, as you can hear for yourself. There's a lot going on in the Methodist Church, a whole lot going on, and still much more to be done. But it takes hands, it takes energy, it takes muscle, it takes all of you, indeed. And so while we can all sit on the sideline and say, what are y'all doing? Now we can all get involved and say, I am also doing. And so together as a community, as a society, as people of faith and church, we can do so much more. Join the Methodist Church. That's an option, indeed, to you. I know that's part of her mission to outreach and to grow membership.
Definitely.
There are 20 congregations in Barbados Church. We literally almost across all the parishes except for St. Andrew and St. Joseph.
Correct.
Right,
correct.
I think. And so they're everywhere. And so you want to be able to be in the church very, very soon. But most of all, this coming Wednesday at 7 o'clock, we are all invited to the Bethel Methodist Church on Bay Street, the church by the bay. Morris reminds me, it begins at 7 in the evening. That's when the Reverend Dr. Karen Durant McSweeney, who is the interim president and dean of the United Theological College of the West Indies in Jamaica, will speak on a Methodist national social consciousness, sharing the legacy of the Right Excellent Sarah Anne Gill. And as you've heard us when we spoke, there's so much that she has contributed, that national hero of ours. And so we want to hear from the Methodists about the Methodist national social conscience. And so together we all learn, together we all build this Wednesday, 7 o'clock, Bethel Methodist Church on Bay Street. We have to be there. And Morris promises he's completing a book very, very soon that will contain part of which will be about Sarah Anne Gill.
Oh, yes.
We're expecting...
Part of which is going to be about you too.
Me, as in me?
Yes, yeah.
Or my family?
Everybody. Everybody who's anybody.
No problem. I have a very good lawyer, sir, so we shall see where that goes when even it's published. But we're looking forward to some exciting things because there are exciting times in the Methodist Church. And so, Dr. Natalie, thank you for coming in to join us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Spread the word of Methodist, Methodism.
And I will soon be engaging you, Brother Pearson.
Wait,
yes. I'll soon be engaging you. We want to have a project on reading, and I know that's your area. You know, we read every Sunday, and so we want to have, and I understand that you do it at the St. Barnabas Anglican Church.
That's another discussion for another time. Thank you so much indeed. Morris, it's always good to see you. I'm looking forward to having more discussions with you. I know there's some other publications we need to talk about that you've done, so we shall make some arrangement to do so. Thank you very much both. I wish you well. Morning Barbados comes back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number. Lifeline Barbados is just a call away. Remember, you can reach out whenever you need to talk.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
The Ministry of Youth Sports and Community Empowerment's Bridges television series is back. Join us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. on CBC TV 8. Don't you miss it.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
You know, you go into the kitchen and your grandmother say, "Oh, mommy, grandmother, how did you make this?" "Oh, with an ounce of love." That's all they tell you. They never shared with you the secret ingredient. And so, Roberts Manufacturing is celebrating 80 years in the business of providing community around an oven, community around a pot, and community just enjoying a wonderful, tasty meal. They have developed this. And I have it. You better believe it. Eat your heart out. Well, not for too long, because you might have it as well very, very soon. We're talking here about the Roberts spread, cooking with a not-so-secret ingredient. Joining me as we delve through this and share with you why you must have this and why any of the Roberts branded items need to be where you are is Anne Rodden-Gordon. She is the head of commercial with Roberts Manufacturing. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Anne.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
When you hear like that, a name like that is Jamaican.
Yes.
It is Jamaican. Anne, that's what they tend to do. And the Rodden part,
Jamaican, yes.
Welcome home.
Thank you so much.
Indeed. And so with you also is Stephanie Sears, who herself is a chef, but most of all, a culinary entrepreneur. I love the way you say it.
Good morning.
What does it mean to you to be called a culinary entrepreneur?
To me, it's just going into small business, but making sure that the flair of what you would call restaurant experience is there.
Ooh, and you've contributed to pulling this all together.
Yes.
And you know, you've seen your baby's alive. Your baby's alive. It lived, it cried, it's alive. And so Roderick Prescott, however, you are the director at the Jean and Norma Holder Hospitality Institute. And so this is where everything falls out, really. The new crop of chefs are being budded right there by you.
Yes, definitely.
And so we're going to put it all together. Mm-hmm. Sarah Ann, Karis, talk to me about the book. This is such a fantastic publication. And why is Roberts at 80 years old doing this now?
It's a fabulous, public, book. And, we started out in 1944 and we're celebrating 80 years. And, this book, our first book was 1983 and the last edition was in 2020. And the book is really a celebration of, not just, Bajan culinary experience, but the wider Caribbean. Roberts is a Caribbean company. We operate in 19 territories, and we want to share, just what have made us, special in the Caribbean, what has, brought the community to the table, and what has continued to bring families together. We always say that, food brings everybody together.
Oh, right.
No matter what is happening, no matter what the occasion is, the food is really what brings everybody to the table and everybody together. So, we're very proud of this book. It's been a long time coming, and we're just happy to celebrate, that it's here. And, we talk about the not so, secret ingredients, and, this not so secret ingredient, which is, our Roberts product, or sunflower, or velvet crescent, or mellow cream, is really what have been given the true essence of Caribbean flavor for 80 years. And, today we just want to celebrate that milestone.
I'm telling you, and the thing is that when Barbadians migrate, Barbadians who have migrated always say, bring me this, bring me that, I must have it. Because somehow nothing compares anywhere else in the world.
Absolutely.
And that must mean so much to Roberts.
Absolutely. And we take pride in it because we started out as a soap making company, and it blossomed into what we are today. And we owe this not just to Roberts Manufacturer, but to Bajans that have really just stood behind us every step of the way. When we go to different Caribbean countries and, a Bajan see the sunflower on the shelf, they feel so proud.
Yes.
And we ought to feel proud, because, we have come so far. And this book is really just a celebration of, what we have to offer using our products as well.
And there's so many products, and they're all laid out beautifully in the book, by the way. I have the book in my lap because this book going home with me. I'm trying something today. Don't come to my kitchen. But I'm trying something today. And so you, Chef Stephanie, you were, as you said, a part of the pulling together of all of this. How did you go about determining not just the layout, but the focus for the book?
Well, some of the ingredients stood out to me. Obviously, using the garlic spread, that's my favorite. I just wanted to plug that in there quickly.
Some nice warm bread?
Yes.
Cheese all bread.
But
Sorry.
I also wanted to bring some of the ingredients that people would be scared to use, like the coconut spread, because they talk about how strong it is, but a little goes a long way. So focusing on Roberts' products and wanting to get out some of the things that we would make traditionally home to the wider public that they too can make at home for themselves.
And so the book is broken down. I had a chance to browse briefly. The book is broken down into different kinds of meals and meat options and those kinds of things, as well as some recipe options. So in terms of making sure that you cover the majority of what we'd like to consume, how time consuming was that for you?
Well, each chef that's featured in the book would have done a group of recipes. So
you had help?
Yes. But it took me about a week and some to narrow down the recipes, and then another week to actually put them together so that those who aren't culinarians or those who aren't chefs, but the chefs at heart, could follow and have the same result.
Wonderful. And if we go to page 18 into page 19, when we talk about meeting the contributors that our chef Stephanie just shared with us, let's drop some names, because in this book we're hearing and reading and experiencing from the talent of people like Zalika King. Who is she?
Zalika King is a young chef. She's right now doing wonders representing Barbados overseas.
Omari Lane?
Omari just won the junior chef competition here in Barbados last year.
All right.
Yes.
So even from the juniors are hearing.
Yep.
This is brilliant. I like the way how you're incorporating, Karasan, all ages into this.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we want to continue to support the culinary industry. So, our cookbook is not just a compilation of recipes. We are trying to foster that growth in the culinary industry. And that's why, we engage Roderick, to be a part of this story.
You just said it, where I was going with my head. So Roderick, you've been invoked.
Yes,
because in all of this, at the end of it, you see the people who come into the institute, and you get us, but you teach them how to well, not you necessarily, but the institute teaches them how to make delicious meals that are world class as well, using Barbadian products.
Yes.
So talk to me a little bit about the synergy between Roberts and the Gene and Norma Holder Institute.
Yes, well, the Gene and Norma Holder Hospitality Institute, as you would have said, is the main organization, establishment for delivering education in Barbados, and we are a division of the Barbados Community College. And we have a demonstration kitchen and a main production kitchen, which allows the students to develop their skills across several programs. The main one being culinary arts, of which Stephanie, she is alum.
Yes, I am.
I remember your face.
Yes.
Sorry, folks, I get excited when these things happen. You remember the Barclay Singers? We were there.
Yeah.
And I came up to you afterwards and I complimented you guys. You guys did. Sorry, Roderick.
That's fine.
That is why, because it had Robert's products in it, it tasted so good. It was really lovely. The service was fantastic. This is at Palm Marine, ladies and gentlemen. And you can carry on now. So I apologize.
But just following on that, again, very proud of Stephanie and her contribution. Zalika King, also an alum of the Gene and Norma Holder Hospitality Institute. So we're seeing fruit. We're seeing the benefit of what we're doing within the industry. As chefs, it is magnificent. It's really, really proud.
You got that right. Tasty, and I must compliment the service as well, by the way. I must tell you, the service, those young people are doing so very well in there as they're trained. So Anne-Marie Leach, Dane Sadler, we know, whose name we already know, Stephanie Sayers, Kerry Trotman. These are some of the names of whose work you will see in there. And just the pictorial is amazing. It's beautiful. I saw it when I was browsing earlier today, and I thought, I'm hungry. I'm literally hungry. But all of this is infused. The not so secret ingredient is Roberts.
Absolutely.
And Roberts' range of products.
Absolutely.
And so for anybody who's watching today, these books, as we get ready to share with you some recipes, is available.
So it's going to be a digital book. So we wanted to merge the traditional with how, you know, consumers consume recipes now. You know, we want to ensure that, you know, it's ready and available. So it's going to be on our website, www.rmco.com. It's also on our social media pages, Caribbean Loves Cooking as well. But we're very passionate about it. You know, we wanted to make it very easy and, you know, easy to handle. The recipes are pretty much very easy to follow as well. And, you know, as I mentioned earlier, the thing about it is that you and I can have the same ingredients, and it comes out totally different. So the beauty about this book is that you have tips on how to really, you know, let that plate come to life and look as bold as it is in the book, you know. So it's definitely a culinary experience.
And you will have a culinary experience as well once you try the recipes. You know, every Bajan, not this one, is into Bajan chicken and split pea soup. And you know, with pigtails, as a matter of fact, that's described in the book. It is so Bajan, it's just not funny. And once you go online and you get your copy of your digital book, you can now try all of these things. But you've also tried, Stephanie, some other recipes from elsewhere, Dominican callaloo soup with crab.
So absolutely. So, you know, Roberts is a Caribbean company, right? And, you know, we are in several Caribbean countries. So what we did was we actually have contributions from the different Caribbean islands.
Oh, good.
So you will have contributions from Trinidad, you know, Dominica, St. Lucia, Guyana as well. So if you really want to know how to do a real roti, you know, and have a little lime, as the Trinis would say, you know, a roti recipe is in it as well.
Yes.
You know, if you're Jamaican and you love Scotch bonnet pepper, there's a Scotch bonnet croquette that's in there with a mango salsa. I'm definitely looking forward to trying that. So definitely, it's really just literally a melting pot of Caribbean cuisine that have the foundation of Bajan taste as well. So it's really a fusion of flavors coming all together.
Roderick, your mouth is watering, right?
Yes, definitely.
It is just watering. Because as we listen to Caris Anne, you can feel and you can smell and you can taste the taste of what you're talking about. And all of this is inside of this book, and it's through Roberts. That's the not so secret ingredient, because now the world knows you have to have the Roberts brand of products to add that flavor to it indeed. And so what my technical director is saying to me, look for the roti. Okay, we just had the roti up so that you will see it from there. But you get your own copy, get your own copy. If you're into making buffalo wings as well, you know, I mean, there's a recipe in here for everything. I love sweet and sour chicken. Thank you for putting that in there. I'm going to try that. I think a lot of people will try it as well. But Roger, from the Institute, getting the children, don't call it children, people, the young people involved in following this and being able to create recipes and experiment with what Roberts is able to produce as well. How does that work? And I'm sure lots of parents are saying, but my child tinkers in the kitchen. I'd love for them to be able to formalize. How can they do so?
Yes, so I mean, again, having the book would be fantastic. We have a lot of resources from all over the world, but it's always special when you have a resource that is homemade. That book by Stephanie and through Roberts is fantastic, because now we can enlighten a lot more people through our full-time programs and also our part-time programs. We have evening programs where people do basic trade cookery, international cuisine, baking technology 1, baking technology 2. So there's several avenues for persons to gain in education at the junior normal holder.
And the thing is, you don't have to be commercial. You can be just like me. I'm an amateur and I just want to be able to get better, you know, to feed the family better. I can sign up for any of the courses, and
Definitely.
yes, out of it could very well be a business, but for sure, it's a great way for you to beef up your culinary skills. And so, Stephanie, you've really done a lot of work here. You look at this now, and what crosses your mind and your heart as you watch this book?
Relief. That is finally out. I mean, as I told you, there were weeks on end that we were trying to get them through, and then getting everybody to put this stuff together, that was it. But honestly, I am just happy that the wider public get to zone in and be their own chefs and be their own sous chefs and stuff like that.
And you're so right. We're going to take a break. We'll come right back because there's more I want to tell you about this book and about Roberts in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons which will surprise many is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end, and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We only have 6 more minutes, folks. I'm still in the book. I know you still are in the book. I know you're searching your cupboard, you're searching your refrigerator, thinking, what Roberts product do I still have? What Roberts product do I need? And I'll tell you, first of all, get the book. Get the book. You know, coming in, Karis, and I've had a question coming in from Nevis, with one of our viewers there who's asking, where can I get the book? Please. So how can they?
So the book, fortunately, the book is going to be available online. So there's going to be a QR code on our website as well, and also on our digital pages. And, the fun thing about it is anywhere you are in the world with, internet connection, you can get our book. So it's readily available. We're going to be launching it later today. And after the launch tonight, then the book will be available tomorrow.
Right.
Yes.
So go into all of the handles of Roberts Manufacturing Company and you will get your copy, your digital copy. But I like, Stephanie, the way the book is laid out as well, because I was browsing, I go like, the index is at the back for quick reference. So if I want to know how to do cornbread, I go to page 164 and on and on. So, and it's broken out alphabetically, which makes it extremely easy to navigate.
That's all Roberts. I will confess. That's all Roberts.
Yes.
This is brilliant.
Yes, definitely. Because, after going through the book, you're gonna have your favorite recipes.
Yeah.
Right. I'm personally looking to try the jug. Right. So you want to be able to reference that as well. And the beauty about the book is that it gives you measuring tips as well.
Nice,
You
because
know-
I can get it so wrong. That's why Stephanie doesn't do pastries. Marcia Rott, one of our commenters online, she says, I can still taste the good memories of my grandmother's baking on my plate. So good. Thank you, Roberts Manufacturing. And that's what, I mean, that's less legacy. Patricia Ben, who is in the States as well, she said, my grandmother would never bake anything without using that mellow cream. Indeed. Roberts has truly, over 80 years, been a staple in everybody's household, not just in their baking, in their cooking, in their soups, in their everything. And that's, Stephanie, what the book covers. Everything that we use the Roberts products for.
Yep. But what I really want to point out is the fact that, you know, everybody's that health conscious these days, and the vegan section was what I was most amazed about, making sure that, you know, you don't just have vegetables in there, you have full meals that those vegan lovers can enjoy.
So for the vegan, the not vegan, like Roderick,
Yeah.
and you know, everybody else in between there. For the children as well, there's something for everybody. Whether you want light finger food or heavier meal, all of those recipes are captured. It's a thick book. It's a thick book. So you can try this every single day of your life and over over again. And imagine families coming together.
Absolutely, bringing the community together. It's over 150 recipes, and as Stephanie mentioned, we also have gluten-free products, right? You know, we also have lactose-free products. So, you know, we're very cognizant of how consumers have evolved over the years, and health is a very, very big concern. And we want to let our consumers know that, you know, our products are trans fat free. You know, our products, we have, you know, gluten-free, lactose-free, vegan options. So, you know, there is something in the book for everyone.
But something on the shelves for everyone as well.
Exactly.
Since you're talking about those warnings, are there warning labels on the product so we can say, okay, this one is gluten-free?
Yes, so we do have our signature logos that we put on our packaging that definitely has the gluten-free, it has the lactose-free, and, you know, we have other value propositions as well for our products.
Lovely, lovely. Folks, and it's all at Roberts. They have evolved. They continue to evolve. Or even after 80 years, they're staying very young and relevant and nimble and available, accessible, tasty. I can find all the other words to describe Roberts Manufacturing. I'm going to try my recipes today. What about you? And so, Stephanie, well done.
Thank you.
You compiled a beautiful book. Roderick is saying he himself is going to try a number of these, and he is going to have assistance in the kitchen, no doubt indeed. But nonetheless, and Roderick, I really want to commend you and the Institute for the great work you guys are doing there.
Thank you.
In turning out some chefs, not just in Barbados, but across the region, who are doing phenomenal work, who also understand the benefit and the value and the contribution of Roberts to a good tasting meal. And so, Roberts, you know, you come in Karasan, you know, you're bringing people together around food, which is always a fantastic conversation piece. Anyway, we talk and we laugh and we taste. We talk, we laugh and we taste.
Absolutely.
And that's what Roberts is doing. And Roberts is adding that not so secret ingredient to your wonderful life and your wonderful experience. I thank you as well.
It's such a pleasure to be here, and just to say, you know, before we close that, you know, we want to continue to support the culinary industry, and that's why we're partnering with the culinary school, just to make sure they have the necessary equipment. So we're actually donating an equipment to the school, as well as products or Roberts oil
You're going
to
Roger.
the school. Yes. So this is our commitment, you know, to the culinary industry, you know, fostering, you know, young chefs coming up, and, you know, ensuring that they have the best quality product that we have to offer. And of course, that is our Roberts product under our Sunflower brand, or Mellow Cream, or Velvet Crisp, you know, and, you know, we're just happy to be here to ensure that, you know, our products, you know, are featured in our wonderful cookbook, and we're looking forward to sharing that tradition with our consumers.
So don't forget, go online after the launch this evening. Go onto Roberts Manufacturing's website and you will scan the code, you'll get your own book, and you will start cooking right away. Folks, enjoy it. Thank you all for coming through. I wish you all the best. And I know that this will be heavily consumed wherever in the world. You too can have one of these in your hand, in your kitchen, and you can start cooking as well. The Roberts spread, cooking with the not so secret ingredient, is available today. Thank you all. We wish you the best. And my little crew joins me in saying to all of you, thank you. We wish you a wonderful day. Don't forget, we're under a flood watch until 12 noon. Of course, at 12 noon, they may discontinue or they may upgrade it. So stay tuned to the stations of the CBC. We will keep you informed. So for everyone, I wish you a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow, if it be the will of the Lord. Bye-bye.